Good morning everybody. Here we have my C63, which I've probably owned for about 2 months now. So today we're going to do a video on everything that I absolutely hate about this car. Some things I hate more than others, but there are quite a lot. I've never actually took this car on quite a spirited drive, so we're going to do a mixture today. We're going to take it out for a nice drive. We've got the GoPros, but we're also going to go over everything I hate about my 6.2 litre C63. So this is the last video you're going to see before the C63 gets wrapped. Actually going into IW wraps on Monday. I'm super excited for it. It's going to be doing a lot of changes. This is the last video you're going to see it like this. So I thought this would be a good time to do the video as it sits. So there's actually a video on my Patreon now of where I actually go and choose a wrap colour with Jarvis IW wraps. So that's on Patreon live now if you don't want to wait to see the colour. You get loads of other things on Patreon as well. We do monthly giveaways, and also don't forget to check out my clothing brand, my new clothing brand Ikigai. But let's jump in the car, let's go and chat shit on this Merc. So these points are in no particular order. Some of them are quite big points, and some of them are just little things which annoy me. That's a warm start, by the way. The cold starts are very aggressive on these cars. These are in no particular order whatsoever. I've probably got around about 10 points maybe. Some are quite picky for me, and some are actually quite big annoying things. So if you are looking to buy a C63, this is actually a really good video to watch. So without further ado, let's kick into my list of what I hate about this car. Now the thing that really gets on my nerves the most, and it's perfect because this situation kicked off, we've got a nice bit of road here, a lovely bit of road. Now whereas in other cars, a lot of BMWs, I can press one button, it'll put me in my perfect driving mode, however I want the traction, my full driving mode, which for me is traction fully off and full manual, full aggression on the steering, full aggression. You can't do that in this. There's no quick way to just get into a mode. If I want to have some fun, I've got to turn this knob, and you can't do it too quickly because otherwise it doesn't turn through the modes as quick. I've got to put it in M, so now I'm in M, but I'm on full traction, and the traction in this is very, very, very annoying. So I can press it once, that'll put me in sport, it'll give me a little bit of traction. But if I want to put full traction off, which is what I like doing a lot of times, I've got to hold it for 1, 2, 3. So I can't just press a button and go. I've got to put it in manual, hold that for 3 seconds. And by the time you actually want your traction off and you want manual, the situation's gone. Like you've turned the corner, you've gone past the road. It's the most annoying thing, seriously is. And the next point actually leads on really well from the last one. The gearbox. So down here, you have C, S, S plus and M. Now, the most annoying thing is a lot of new gearboxes, automatic gearboxes, are smart. You can be in comfort, you'll put your foot down and it'll put you into a manual mode, it'll sharpen up the response of the gearbox. This won't. You literally have to tell it everything you want to do. If you're in comfort and you put your foot down, it will stay in a comfort mode where the gear changes are sloppy, takes ages to change gears. A good example of this is that when you do a kickdown, they have a kickdown in this car when there's a button on the very bottom of the throttle and it kicks down 2 gears. I'll demonstrate that now. So we're in Sports Plus. Say if we're just cruising in this gear, what you do is you plant your foot fully and then it kicks down 2 gears and goes, and that is probably the most fun thing about this car. Wow, that's fast. But if you're in comfort, it's really sloppy, it's really slow. And going on from that, if you're in Sports Plus, right, and you go on the paddles, it doesn't change up when you want to on the paddles, it changes up when the gearbox wants to, because it's still technically in Sports Plus, which is an automatic mode. So if you actually want to fully go on the paddles, you have to put it in manual. It is a very old style gearbox where you have to tell it everything, and it does get a little bit annoying because you can't just be like, oh comfort, you want to race, let's go. No, hang on mate, let me put it in manual, let me hold 3 seconds. Okay, let's go. We're on the subject of driving fast and trying to drive fast. Another issue with these cars is that you can go down here into the menu and you can go into AMG mode, and it tells you what gear you're in, your oil temperature, your coolant temperature. Now the most annoying thing about this car, and a lot of these suffer from this, is it has oil coolant issues, that the oil cooling system isn't as good as it should be. The oil temperatures go sky high really fast, and I mean now I'm at 106 and I only put my foot down twice. Ideally, I'd want to see a car that sticks around about 100 degrees oil temp. This will easily go to the 120s if you're ragging it for on a hot day for more than 15-20 minutes. Easily go up in the 120 degrees. I have Googled it and a load of them have these issues, and it's just not really on for a car of this price tag, brand new, to have oil cooling issues. There are ways around it, but you shouldn't really be having to fix something like that when you pay the price of a car like this. This car is not a good handling car. It is really not a good handling car. It's great for what I want it for, and that's for, you know, nice everyday driving. This isn't really the car that I would take. Wow, look at this Triumph. This isn't really a car that I would take on a track day or anything like that. This is really boaty. It's really heavy. The chassis isn't nimble at all. The springs are really soft. You get a lot of body roll around corners. It is not a car built for going fast around corners. It really isn't. Now, I don't really mind that, because as I said, I didn't buy this car for that. I bought this car as a nice car which does everything, and the suspension's soft, it's not harsh, it's a comfortable ride, but it does severely lack when you're trying to go around corners. It is not confident in the corners whatsoever. Moving on from the point from handling, the biggest thing that really annoys me about this car, and I cannot believe it's come without one, it doesn't have an LSD. The performance packs do come with an LSD, but they're very hard to find, and there's only some models which come with it, and they're way more they're so expensive for the performance pack ones. I'd say the majority of them come with an open diff. I cannot believe that a car from this price tag, with this engine, with the AMG badge on, comes with an open diff. Now, it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, as you say, it's not a big car to go built round corners regardless, but it's a rear-wheel drive, high-powered car. You're going to want to use that now and again. And all that creates is an inconsistent rear end. Sometimes I'll come out of a corner with, you know, my foot down, and it goes. Sometimes it just doesn't. Sometimes I want it to go, and it doesn't. Sometimes I don't want it to go, and it does. It's controlling a slide when it does happen. And without an LSD, it is way harder to do so. When you're in that slide, when you come off throttle on diesel, the wheels just do their own thing. So there's no control, there's no control or consistency of trying to control the slide, and that's why a lot of people, I think, crash these, because they come off throttle too hard, it's losing all of its lock, boom, each wheel just fucks off in this different direction, and it just grips, and it's annoying. It is seriously annoying not having that control from the rear end in a car with this sort of power. That's probably the biggest let side for me, that it comes with an open fucking diff. Firstly, this car it's not keyless. It is not keyless. It's absolutely crazy. It's not keyless entry, and it's not keyless start. I'm not too fussed about the keyless start. I'd much rather have a key and turn, but the keyless entry thing is quite annoying. My Clio, my 2007 197 Clio has keyless entry and keyless start. How can a Merc of this starting price tag not come with one? And another annoying thing is the windscreen washers. I'll show you now on this camera. When you press the windscreen wipers, which again is annoying by the way, everything is on one stalk. Like all the windscreen wipers, indicators, everything is on one stalk here. So when you get in, you'll be freaked out that there's nothing on this side. But anyway, when you press the windscreen wipers, it's delayed. The water comes out delayed. The wipers go dry and then the water comes out. Watch. Look how delayed that is. That's awful. It's not really a big thing, but it's very annoying, because when you've got a really dirty windscreen, all your rubber just picks up all that dirt, and then the water comes out, and it's like, great. And so every time you do your wipers again from that, you have a load of dirt on the wipers. So the second to last point is, it's a little bit not as extravagant as I want it to be aesthetically. And that's mainly from the outside and the inside. The interior is okay. The interior is alright. The dash is a lot nicer than the standard C-classes, and the seats are incredible. I must say, the seats are absolutely amazing, but the dash itself around here is pretty similar to most 4 grand, 5 grand diesel Mercs. It is the same setup. The screen is a little bit bigger, but it is just a little bit plain. I wish there was just a little bit better styling or something with the trim, something inside, just to show that you are not in a diesel Merc. I wish the exterior was a bit more aggressive. The front is great. I love how aggressive the front of the car is. I love the aggressive bumper. I love how wide the arches are on the front. I love the bonnet, how it's curved up. I love that, like how the V8s curve up to, you know, to make it look like there's a big engine there. Well, there is, but the back of it is just a little bit weak. The rear arches I wish were wider, like the new C63s. The new 63s are super wide. When it comes down the road, you can tell straight away that's a fucking C63. These are just a little bit skinny on the back. I wish they were wider on the back. And the most annoying thing is that you can't really tell the difference between an AMG line rear end and a C63 rear end. There's tiny differences, but to the naked eye, they look exactly the same. I mean, I dropped this off at the garage once, and Alan picked me up, and he thought I was dropping off my other white Merc, my diesel one, because it's not that obvious. So I just wish it was a bit more... I wish it was a bit more aggressive from the outside. And my last point isn't really a complaint, because this is something you know beforehand. These are so expensive to run and own. I have never seen a car which is just so bad on fuel. It literally kind of warps your perception of money. It really, really, really does. You put 20 quid in this car and you won't leave the town. It is so bad on fuel, it's unbelievable. The tax is expensive. This is like, and this is the sort of car where you're one down from paying supercar money on parts. Seriously, the parts of these cars are so expensive. I literally wrote this list. I was like, whoa, there's a lot of things, but this car's amazing. I like cars that have a lot of things wrong with them because it gives a lot of character about the car. You're getting a lot of brand new cars, and when I'm reviewing brand new cars, I find it really hard to pick things out that I don't like. But does that make me finish the review and love the car? Definitely not. It's boring. So I love that this is a really good mix between an old car which has a lot of things wrong with it and not nibbly things, a lot of character, but it's as capable and as fast and as stylish as a new car can be. Lots of things going for this car next week, so I wanted to do this video now while it was as standard as possible. Let's do one more kick now. Woohoo!